Karibu tena mtazamaji, tupo katika Kenya's Gold na sema kwamba kupitia 2242 zungumza nasi #Kenya's Gold na vile vile kupitia Facebook yangu Terere Manuel. Bila wasiwasi tu wasiliane, na tayari ninaye mgeni ndani ya studio, Paul Chalo, na mimi nimetamka salama kabisa. Ni mtaalamu katika biashara za masoko ya kimataifa na maendeleo. Karibu sana bwana. Naam.
Thank you very much Mr. Emmanuel. Asante kwa kunikaribisha hapa. I'm very happy to speak with you to cover on avocado exports. I'm an expert in international trade and development with a very strong biasness and emphasis on the horticulture sector, and in this case the avocados.
Kwa mtazamaji ambaye anakuona kwa mara ya kwanza na anajiuliza unamaanisha nini ukisema hivyo, kwa undani kabisa umueleze. Ukisema wewe unahusika katika masuala ya masoko na biashara ya masoko ya kimataifa.
Asante sana. Kimsingi nchi yetu tunafanya exports ya horticultural products. Horticultural products are categorized into three: fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, and we have flowers. In the fresh fruits, we have avocados, mangoes, pineapple, passion fruit, coconut, and several others. But out of those, Kenya leads in avocado exports, and Kenya exports to 4 regions in the world. The first region where we export to is in Europe. In Europe, we sell to Spain, to Germany, to France, to UK, and also to East Europe, which has the Balkans. The Balkans are Serbia, Romania, and also Ukraine and Russia.
Okay.
That is European Union. And we also export to Asia. This year, we began exports into China. This year, also in August, we began exports into India. We are also exporting to Hong Kong, Singapore, and Malaysia.
Bas, kuna soko kubwa sana, na unavyozungumza kuna soko mpana kweli kweli. Lakini swali ambalo linajitokeza hapo ni kuwa, je, mimi mkulima peke yangu naweza safirisha nje nchi peke yangu bila kuhusisha serikali?
It is entirely not possible to start exporting without involving the government. We have 2 main agencies that regulate horticultural exports. The first one is Horticultural Crops Directorate and Agriculture and Food Authority. And then we have the Kenya Phytosanitary Inspection Service, KEPHIS. You must have registration and licensed by all those government bodies, and also what we call the single window by the Kentrade customs. So it is entirely not possible for a farmer or for a person to export any fresh produce or any avocados without an approval and a registration and a license by those agencies.
Sasa kufikia hapo kupata leseni kutoka kwa asasi hizo zote umetaja, ni utaratibu upi ambao mtu anahitaji kama mkulima ili apate leseni?
First of all, to export, you have 3 sources in which you can you can have produce to export. The first one, you could be a commercial farmer who is producing their own fruits. You could be a privately owned company that has a partnership with a cooperative or a group of farmers. Or number 3, you could have a collaboration with aggregators. We have aggregators who are also licensed by the government agencies, who will collect and aggregate avocados from different regions, from farmers, and deliver to you. So in this case, you must have a sourcing establishment. You must have an agreement with either of those 3. And then the second step, you will go and approach the Horticultural Crops Directorate. This is the Directorate and Agriculture and Food Authority that regulates and licenses horticultural exporters. There is a good number of checklists which you must meet to comply as a licensed exporter. Number 3, A number of markets require compliance and food certification standards. One of the food safety certification is called Global Gap. Buyers want to be sure that the avocados we export are safe, they are free of pesticides, they are free of pests, and they are traceable. So in this case, you need to be Global Gap certified. And recently in Kenya, we have also our own food safety standard that we are calling KS 1758. So all those food safety certification, in addition to some other social certifications, you are able now to start to talk to your buyers.
Okay. Zungumzia kidogo kuhusiana na KS 1758 kwa mtu ambaye labda hajaelewa unasema nini ukisema KS 1758.
KS 1758 ni a standard ambayo tumedevelop. We have a number of exporter and farmer associations to be sure that any produce or any avocados that we export are safe. We use the right pesticides. We manage pests. We can trace them. And we are compliant to the international markets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kuna sheria ambazo zimetokea sana kuhusiana na masuala ya pesticides. Hizi sheria tutafikiaje ndio tusije tukaathiri soko la kimataifa hasa katika kusafirisha maparachichi?
Jambo la kwanza lazima tuwaelimishe producers au wakulima which are the right and approved pesticides to use. So lazima tufanye a lot of capacity building. Lazima tuwaelimishe wakulima. And the second, we have a government agency known as Pest and Pest Control Produce Board, which authorizes and registers only approved pesticides that are declared good and safe for use.
Okay. Na vile kuna ile umesema capacity building. Ni kama ni mafunzo na mahamasisho kwa wale watu ambao hawajui sana nikitumia pesticides na hii inaharibu matunda yangu ama mazao yangu. Kwake utamfunzaje na hamasisho yenyewe zinaendelea hadi wapi, imefika wapi?
We have had a number of approaches into this. The first approach is our exporter associations have arranged these sessions with the different farmer groups and cooperatives in various regions in the country. And two, a number of horticultural exporters have employed and engaged agronomists who move around to make sure that farmers know which are the right pesticides. And that is one collaborative approach we have been able to work.
Okay. Naam, turejee sasa shambani. Kuna yule mkulima ambaye amesikia utaratibu wako wote kuanzia shambani hadi sasa afike katika mauzo. Ni precautions gani anafaa angalia akianza kabisa tangu kupanda hadi atakapofika kuvuna?
Number one, many farmers start to produce, and when fruits are ready or when avocados are ready, they start to look for a buyer. It should not work in that way. A farmer should first identify a buyer, whether an aggregator, whether a local exporter, or whether they would like to export directly.
Okay.
In this case, you will work in close collaboration with your buyer to enhance quality, to enhance quantity, and also to fulfill certification requirements. Kwa hiyo ni muhimu wakulima, jambo la kwanza, waanze uhusiano na wanunuzi wao. Number two, it is very important to have the right, to know which is the right variety, which is the right rootstock, which is the right way to manage pests. And in that way, we are going to make sure that we produce quality, we produce safe, and we are able to access the market.
Okay. Umezungumza kuhusiana na variety. Kuna mtu ambaye anajua kuna Ferrite na vile vile Hass kwa tofauti ya avocado. Je, ni rasmi kwamba anaweza uza mmoja kwa yule mtu wa soko ya kimataifa ama mara mbili zote pamoja?
We have 3 main varieties in Kenya, 3 main avocado varieties in Kenya. The first one is called Hass.
Yes.
The second one is a category we call green skin. And in this case, we have a Fuerte variety, Pinkerton variety, and then we have our local avocados that we call Jumbo or Kienyeji in our language. Out of those, Hass makes the best commercial value, followed by the green skins, that is Fuerte and Pinkerton. And in some cases, some buyers, especially in the Middle East, will buy also the Jumbo.
Okay. Kuna umezungumza vizuri, umesema kuhusiana na ni gani tutakwenda sasa, lakini kuna jambo ambalo linaweza fanyika, na hili linakwenda wakati amepata mteja. Yule mtu atapataje mteja? La kwanza. La pili, utajuaje kwamba huyu mteja si mkora?
Thank you. There are a number of ways in which you can collaborate and get international buyers to buy or to import your produce. The first one, kuna baadhi ya conferences and trade fairs that involve fresh produce that happen in most places all over the world, where a producer or an exporter can visit, meet these buyers in person, negotiate working conditions in person, get to know them in person, and also get to know where they are established. Number 2, we have a government agency known as Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency. This agency works to enhance and to promote and to brand Kenyan exports overseas. So an aspiring exporter can make a visit to this agency, and they will guide him on how to access the markets.
Okay.
Number 3, in our regulator, the Horticultural Crops Directorate, they have a department of marketing. You can also make a visit. You can knock their doors, and they will also guide you on how to access and to meet these buyers.
Okay.
The last one, Kenya has embassies and consulates in many countries where we export. You can make a contact by email or by a phone call to verify that for sure your aspiring buyer is good, they exist, they are also licensed, and you can work with them to do diligence on your behalf.
Sasa hiyo inafurahisha kweli kweli. Sasa tuseme kwa mfano umeuza lakini ukora ukatokea. Huyu mkulima atakwenda kwa nani ashtaki kwamba niliuza katika soko la kimataifa lakini nikaibiwa? Atakwenda kwa bodi gani au asasi ipi ambaye ataenda mwenyewe?
There are 2 levels in this question. The first level is there is a farmer who sold avocados locally in Kenya, but they have not been paid by their buyer. It is very important for farmers to find and to establish that anyone buying their fruits, either an exporter or an aggregator, is licensed and is registered by the Horticultural Crops Directorate. In case there is any deviation, such parties have contracts that are also witnessed by the government agency. You can make a report, and then such a buyer would be banned and would be made to pay you. On the second level, we have international buyers also who don't pay, which is also a big risk. So it is very important for an exporter to conduct a lot of due diligence with the Kenyan embassy, with making physical visits to know these buyers, whether they exist or they are briefcase. And then in such ways, we can minimize the losses, or we can make sure that we are working with the right partners.
Naam, hapo vile vile tukizungumzia soko, taifa la Kenya kuna masoko ambayo bado hajaingia?
Yes, we have a number of markets that we have not been able to access. One of the key markets is Japan and Korea, South Korea in this case, which is a very populous country, If this market opens for Kenya, we have more opportunities. Other countries like Thailand, in the Asia region, but we appreciate that the government through KEFIS has been able to open more markets this year. For example, we were able to access China market in December 2022. There are over 1 billion people. This year in August, we were able to access the India market with over 1.3 billion people. With all those, and also hopefully the United States market will be good opportunities for anybody aspiring to be an avocado farmer or to be an avocado exporter.
Itakuwa ni ya kufana kweli kweli kupata soko kama hilo. Kupitia kamera hii, kuna mtu ambaye anakutazama na anataka kujua kwamba nitafanyaje kwamba ndio siku zinazokuja avocado yangu ama biashara yangu inoge. Zungumza naye kupitia hapa.
Cha msingi ni first of all, it is important to focus on improving production, improving quality and quantity. In this way, as I said, it is important for any producer to develop relationships with our buyer at the onset of the production cycle. In this way, you'll be able to understand the market requirements. Secondly, it is very important that we also invest in post-harvest handling and practices. Recently, we have had technology that we are able to test and know the maturity level of avocados without even having to break it. We also need to invest in good packing houses, cold storage, modern logistics facilities, which a good number of shipping companies have been able to do. And then we also need to improve and enhance our branding. If you fly to Amsterdam today, you are likely to board a train or a tram branded avocados from Peru, but we have not been able to do that as Kenya. So we also need to work a lot and do our branding internationally.
Asante sana kwa ufafanuzi wako ndugu yangu Paul. Tunakwenda sawa kabisa kwako vile vile ukifuatilia. Tukirejea, ningependa sana nimuulize kuhusiana na swala lake, hamasisho yake na mawaidha yake kwa kijana ambaye angependa kujiingiza katika masuala ya mahuruji au exports katika maparachichi. Twende katika mapumziko kidogo na vile vile tupate muhtasari.